back a little bit. I don't know how people couldn't know what this was all about, but there's a teacher at a school, a shop teacher, formerly presenting as male, who just one day showed up in a wig and these enormous, clownish fake breasts that make a mockery of womanhood, by the way, and to add insult to injury, tight bicycle shorts. And you know, it's crazy because this is a classroom full of largely, if I know anything about shop class, teenage boys, and this is how this person is presenting, and it's absolutely ridiculous. So tell us about your petition first.
Yes, this was a petition where we were demanding the resignation of the entire Halton District School Board, along with its Director of Education, Mr. Innes, he, him. And I simply wanted to deliver this petition, more than 16,000 signatures. I think it might be up to over 17,000 right now, Sheila. And the amazing thing is, and the video shows this, I say, which one of you is going to accept this petition? And this is how dumb these educrats are, Sheila. If they only came up and said, okay, petition received, I guess you've got no other reason to be here, be on your way. No, they were glued to their seats until they fled from their seats, because I wasn't going anywhere, and called the police. And naturally, because there's no crime happening in Halton region, Sheila, 3 police cruisers show up, you know, because, I don't know, Boobzilla is on the rampage. But the hypocrisy here, Sheila, I think, is that and there was a National Post story about this, and I got my information there because, of course, we were on the outside looking in. And it was a very good story in the Post by Adrian Humphreys. And the Dr. Shuttlecock comes back and she says, she apologizes.
I'm sorry, what was that name?
Is it Shuttlecock or Shuttleworth? It's so complicated. But in any event, she comes back and she apologizes. And then she says words to the effect, you can see it in the article verbatim, it was unfortunate that you all had to endure that. Endure what? The sight of a caricature of a woman, the sight of a grotesque drag queen. So think about this, Sheila. It's okay for minors at Oakville Trafalgar High School to endure that sight every school day, but it's offensive for adults at a school board headquarters to endure that sight. How do you make sense of it all? What hypocrisy.
You know, that was one thing I noticed too, is that she said, oh, I'm so sorry that you all had to experience that. Yeah, that's how those parents feel when their sons have to. There were parents in the audience there, though, when you were there. However, I'm not sure why they were, because this school board has said, we're not taking any questions. You can elect us. We're going to take that salary, but we won't be taking any questions, ugly questions from concerned parents. If that's the case, these people should hit the bricks, and we'll just appoint a bureaucrat every 4 years who does this sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's what was said on the phone. But at the meeting, they, I guess, reversed themselves, Sheila, somewhat. They will take questions, but here's the caveat. You must put your question in writing. They will vet the question, and it will occur at the module 7.2, 7.3. In other words, 2 or 3 hours into the school board meeting. And these things are snooze fest like you wouldn't believe. It's basically a bunch of self-congratulatory rubbish from one trustee to another. It's appalling. This story, this issue rather, Busty Lemieux, Sheila, not only is it not leading the agenda, it's not even on the agenda, and it's getting publicity the world over, from the UK and Australia to India and Pakistan. And the big picture, I think, Sheila, and forgive me if I'm being repetitive, I think there's 3 theories in terms of what Mr. Lemieux is doing here. One is he is genuinely transitioning from a male to a female. I throw that theory into the paper shredder, and I'll tell you why. I think if a man is going to a female, or vice versa, Sheila, you are doing everything possible to blend in with the other sex. You are not trying to bring attention to yourself. You are not trying to pass yourself off as a circus drag queen performer, which is what he's doing. So I don't believe this is a genuine transition story. So that leaves me with 2 theories, and there can be no other theory as far as I'm concerned. One is, there's a lot of chatter online that this individual, Mr. Lemieux, is not a woke person. In fact, he's banged heads with the school board over woke things like gender-neutral bathrooms. And what he decided to do is, okay, you sons of guns want to, weigh in and be champions of wokeism. How's this for you? How about me in Z-cup breasts with nipples protruding through see-through material and working in the shop class that way? Are you going to accept that? So in other words, Sheila, it's a cosmic prank. The second theory, and I can think of no other, is that this is an individual generally suffering from mental illness, some form of sexual perversity perhaps, and he must be treated with compassion, but he certainly must be removed from a classroom because this is inappropriate. But Sheila, at the end of the day, to even question the narrative, right, is an act of transphobia. This school board and most of the mainstream media, they're not interested in investigating. They're all about ignoring this and hoping it goes away. And guess what? It ain't going away.
It's funny that the trans community is so interested in keeping this guy within the fold because he's so very obviously, for me, I don't think he's a troll at this point. I think we would have ripped that Band-Aid off by now. I think he is just like in the olden times, he would be a guy in a trench coat at the bus stop flashing people. He gets off on just showing people his parts, even parts he doesn't have. And I think that goes to my theories about the bike shorts. But it seems weird that they're so interested in making sure that he's still on their team. And I say that because the new docuseries on Jeffrey Dahmer, and I wouldn't call it a docuseries, I would call it like a drama docuseries, on Jeffrey Dahmer was on Netflix, but in the category of LGBTQ entertainment. And they were like, no, he's not one of ours. We don't want him. But they're so very interested in protecting this very strange man and his right to show genitals, both fake and real, to teenage boys.
Sheila, you might be right, but here's the other part of the situation. If it's theory number 2, i.e. this is a cosmic prank that is being played upon the Halton District School Board, Mr. Lemieux is trapped. And by that, I mean, for starters, I don't think he ever dreamed this would go viral around the world like it has. That's one thing. Secondly, if he comes clean, should this be a prank, if he says, listen, mea culpa, I'm going to cover up. I'm going to dress as a male. I was just trying to prove a point. One, he will be fired with cause from the Halton District School Board. Secondly, the LGBTQ plus XYZ mafia will come after him. Hell hath no fury mode. I'm telling you, Sheila, for making monkeys out of them, because anyone in that community that is right now supporting him, they will have egg on their face. So Mr. Lemieux either has to play this through until retirement, or if he goes back to being a male, he has to, the only thing I can think of, Sheila, he has to now claim he's gender fluid. Sometimes I'm a big-breasted chick. Sometimes I'm a regular guy shop teacher. That's just how I roll. So, I guess we'll find out in the weeks and months ahead, but it's a fascinating story nevertheless.
What you just saw was an excerpt from my nightly show, the Ezra Levant Show. Every weekday, I do a monologue. Usually it's about half an hour. Then I interview an interesting guest, and then we read my hate mail or my fan mail, whichever is more fun. It's only available behind a paywall, though. That's how we pay our bills here at Rebel News. We don't take a dime from Justin Trudeau. But the good news is it's only $8 a month, about half the price of Netflix. And in addition to my nightly show, you also get weekly shows from 4 other friends here at Rebel News. So you're getting 36 shows a month just for $8. I think it's worth it. And even if you're not quite sure, do it anyways, because we rely on viewers like you to keep us free and independent. I promise you I'll never take a dime from Trudeau. Just go to rebelnewsplus.com and click subscribe. Thanks.